Were you raised by immature parents, parents who expected you to do whatever they said? They didn't allow you to have your own world, your own thoughts, your own feelings. And growing up with parents like that can make people feel like they don't even know who they are. So I'm going to share with you some tips I got out of this book from Lindsay Gibson's. I came across her on YouTube and I'm like, I want to read her book. So, first step is to let yourself build a better relationship with yourself. To some extent, I think our parents, everyone had parents that were emotionally neglectful to some extent. So this is good for everyone. In childhood, okay, the way that children learn is through parents reflecting their experiences. So if a child is crying, say, oh, you're sad. Okay, then the child understands what it is to feel sad. Their actual feeling gets named, it gets acknowledged. Instead of the bad thing is like, oh, come on, lighten up. It's not so bad. And when children are raised to have their feelings diminished, their experiences diminished and invalidated, they start not having those feelings, they start repressing those feelings and not even having them, and walking around like not even knowing who they are, which is very sad. Because when others won't listen to your deepest feelings, you start tuning out to what's going on inside of you. And then people start discounting their own feelings and questioning how they feel, or feeling shame for how they feel. When you start disregarding your own feelings and your own thoughts, then your inner world feels empty, and then you start looking to others for approval. You know, when I got divorced, I didn't even know I was allowed to have wants and needs and boundaries. I was going to these polyamory meetup groups, and I like those, not because I'm polyamorous. I have a hard time enough finding one guy to date, let alone two. Plus, all those guys there were mostly like, I like kind of the more professional alpha type of guy, and these guys were very too feminized for me at this group where I was going to. But nonetheless, I like what they were teaching about communication, and they were talking about needs and wants and boundaries. I'm like, I'm allowed to have needs? I'm allowed to have wants? I don't just have to try to get along with people and try to figure out how to be okay with the bullshit that's going on? You know, when I was married, I thought, well, I got to figure out how to be okay with what's going on. Even though some of it I didn't like, I'm like, this is not good. But I got to figure out how to be okay in this situation. And if I got upset at someone, I would question myself. What's wrong with me for getting upset? What's wrong with me for feeling hurt? How can I be okay with this? And that all comes from not having my feelings mirrored back or reflected. I'm not blaming anyone, but I'm just saying if this is you, that's how it happens. So it's important to start listening to our own inner thoughts and feelings. So if people don't have their own inner world to draw on and to rely on and to trust, they can start looking to others for validation, but no amount of social activity will fill the emptiness where there should be a relationship with yourself. So just start paying attention, listening to your own inner guidance, and start noticing if your energy goes up or your energy goes down. If being around like people whose energy is healthy and life supporting and aligned, we will feel more energetic, more happy. Conversely, if we feel energy drop and we do something anyway because it's the right thing to do, we haven't really listened to our inner voice. And if you feel guilty and put yourself last, you may secretly expect others to take care of you because you aren't doing it for yourself. So this chapter was called Build a Better Relationship with Yourself. And one thing I worked on with a therapist that I worked with a couple of years ago, a year and a half ago, was learning to trust my feelings. Because I was not trusting my feelings. I was questioning them. I shouldn't have them. What's wrong with me for having them? You know, it's bad that I feel this way. I had all this going on, but my feelings were a guide. They always told me that something was wrong. It didn't mean that I could go off on people. No. But it was telling me that I don't think this is aligned. And that's how I got into the situation with the charlatan that I just made a video about for the members. because I was like, I should be open to things. I should be open to an experience. I don't want to go out with this guy. And there's another charlatan that I didn't even make the video about, where that was more recent, where I was like, I don't want to go out with this guy, but I should. So I accepted this invite to go out, and he blew me off like 3 times, including on my birthday. And that was the last straw. And then I was like, I should have listened to myself, because I didn't want to go out with him, but I thought I should. I should accept a date. How am I ever going to get into a relationship if I don't accept dates? A lot of those guys I accepted dates with on Match.com or whatever, I didn't want to go out on dates with them. And they blew me off too. So people have to find their own balance of like, am I not going out because I'm anxious, or am I not going out because I do not like this person? It's kind of hard to tell sometimes, but the point being that just notice how you feel, okay? Just start noticing how you feel and start letting that voice, that intuition, that soul part of you have some space. Have a seat at the table. Have a seat at the table. Just start noticing. Start noticing, because our parents were so busy, they didn't have time to notice. And no one was talking about feelings in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, so they didn't have time to notice. And now parents are noticing way too much, and they're raising a nation of entitled Gen Z, entitled, over-hovered Gen Z. And there's another book called Bad Therapy, Why the Kids Are Failing. People are writing about how all these kids are over-therapized. So there's a thing about paying too much attention to feelings, because at some point you're like, okay, that's how you feel, that's great, now let's go on about our life. And so, I think we have to strike a healthy balance there somehow. Thank you for watching my video.